dad's ex-girlfriend.
Number 10 is Nina Forever. I don't really think anybody saw this except for me. It was at the Telluride Film Festival, which I drove a long way to get to. This movie alone would have been worth the trip. The acting was completely flawless. Fiona, Abigail, and Cyan, they were all very impressive. They all put it in their all, even if, The plot is something we've never seen before. The kind of sex thing has been going around lately, like with It Follows and all that stuff, but this definitely is a contender. It definitely mixes well with some of the things that it's trying to be. It can go a little further with certain things, but it's hilarious, the pacing is beautiful, and the cinematography is all out.
I have a medical condition that comes and goes, and it's a very long story.
I gotta make sure you're the kind of crazy I can deal with.
Italian women. The best. I think you could be the love of my life.
For my number 9 picks, I picked the horror romance, kind of like Lovecraft type of film. It's called Spring. If anyone has ever heard of it, props to you. It had a very limited release, but it got all the festivals. It got certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with an 89%. Lou Taylor Pucci, I believe that's how you say it. He was in Evil Dead. He's in a lot of other horror romance hybrids. He has the best performance of his career. Same with Nadia. Those two work really well together. They have great chemistry. The screenplay was all out perfect. The wording, you need a dictionary to understand some of the words. It's crazy. I love it. And similar to Nina Forever, it had the cinematography was there. It really worked with what it was doing because being filmed in Italy, it looks amazing. Again, the story was insanely gritty. Like, it's one of those things that we've never seen before. Again, like Nina Forever. That's why this is my number 9, because it all out goes the whole 9 yards. It does everything that you could ask for.
Love comes around a couple times if you're lucky. Life probably seems short no matter what.
Ethan? Benji! Open the door! Open the door! Yeah, I'm trying. Oh my God! The other door!
From a number 8 pick, I had to choose this one. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. It is another installment to a nearly perfect series. Not giving up on the real stunts, Tom Cruise did totally perfect. The plane scene where he's holding onto the door, the fact that that's all real and they actually took off on a plane with him just hanging on the side, that shows some dedication. It also limits itself on the CGI. Even like the car crashes and the explosions, they were all real, which was very nice to see. The old classic Mission Impossible crew did as perfect as they did in the last few movies. I'm very happy that they kept the old group together because it worked. It's not quite up to par with the other insane Mission Impossible movies. Like Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol is one of the best action movies of the decade. It can get a little hard to follow at points. Some of the pace is a little jumbled, and the storyline definitely needs a little work, but other than that, it does a great job at maintaining the tension, and that's why it gets my number 8. So for my number 7 pick was a movie that a lot of people thought would be terrible. And in the back of my head, I kind of thought the same thing, but the trailer was something we've never seen before. It's Krampus. Being one of the first Christmas movies in a long time to get a wide release and actually have a substantial amount of money in the box office, it's been a very long time since the last good holiday movie. Adam Scott held his performance with some of the other performances that dragged. Even the kids did amazing, and the secondary characters. Some of like the scene changes where they were trying to change from happy family film to horror were a little rocky, and they definitely need a little work. A little bit of darkness can't really patch it up. Creatures were relentless. The doll, the robot, the gingerbread men, they were freaky and insanely grotesque. Krampus himself looked great. The design was very well thought out, but his mouth was open the whole time. It just kind of looked a little comedic for whatever reason. The ending was a huge plot twist. It explains the poster, and it ends as just an insanely fun and entertaining movie that I could watch over and over.
It's Christmas. Nothing bad's gonna happen on Christmas.
What's up now? What's up now? Hold it down like what's up now?
And for my number 6 pick was Furious 7. Easily one of the most heartfelt and well done movies of the year. James Wan, from directing Insidious to directing Furious 7, was a huge transition that a lot didn't believe in. He had his longtime writing partner Lee Whannell direct his Insidious 3 so that he could finish this movie. Which, that on its own, it has some dedication to give up such a passionate and very well done series. It needs a little more story development. It really does just set up a lot of action sequences, like they go into a high building just to drive across a skyscraper. Paul Walker had a great performance, even if half of it was his brother because he tragically passed away. And even if the action sequences are totally set up, the CGI for them looks great. And the fact that they're making a Furious 8, I don't think is right. I think it's a cash grab because this was the perfect send-off for a perfect series. Just like many action movies nowadays, it just has non-stop action. From beginning to end, it's just explosions, cars, and guns. That's all it is, which I have no issue with. And it makes for an immaculated IMAX feature. The IMAX worked perfectly.
No matter what happens, tell the world, tell my family that I never stop fighting to make it home.
For my number 5 pick, it was Matt Damon in The Martian. People are comparing this to kind of like a mix of Castaway and Gravity, which I can definitely see, but this exceeds expectations of Gravity and Castaway. Matt Damon gives a performance of his career. He puts his heart and soul into this thing. His weight loss was crazy for this one. The visual effects were definitely intact. Some of them you could definitely tell were visual effects, and then definitely needed some more tweaking. The ending had me on edge. Even though it's a little predictable, it still had me on edge. The Mars crew had great chemistry with Matt Damon, and when they found out that they left him behind, he was still alive, their reactions seemed practical. Matt Damon also keeps the comedic aspect going. The comedy in this was non-stop, and it definitely worked. But the 3D visuals are easily the best. They're irreproachable, and they're done to perfection.
You really think you're ready for the field?
For my number 4, it is the only comedy on this list. In my opinion, this is probably one of the only funny comedies this year, making it the obvious funniest movie of the year. It's Spy. The trailer seemed as another one of Melissa McCarthy's cash grabs that just would have her tripping and falling and fainting just to make some more money. Her ability to be a legit badass was actually very surprising. I expected her to definitely hold back a bit. Rose Byrne was the perfect villain. She added some hilarious comedy and a nice buddy-buddy type relationship with Melissa. Jude Law and Jason Statham, they don't seem like they'd do well on screen, but they definitely did, and I really want to see more of them on screen together. So we're down to the top 3. These are the 3 that I had a tough time mixing around. Like number 3 was at 1 at some point, 2 was at 1, 1 was at 3. Pretty much I jumbled through these for a very long time, and these are my top 3.
Just let it in.
Number 3 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. I get it. I'm going to get a little hate for not putting that up at number 1, but I guess I just didn't like it as much as other people did. But it had groundbreaking special effects and earth-shattering visuals. It easily comes to level with old Star Wars. The new and old blood together was honestly a cinematic masterpiece.
What's up? I'm Cole Carter.
Riley, here we come!
I know. I mean, look at me.
The Duff, in theaters February 20th.
Mr. Holmes.
Let's have that then.
This is mine.
If I save the world, will you give me a kiss?
I give you more than just a kiss.
I'll be right back.
Son of a bitch!
So my number 2 pick is Kingsman: The Secret Service. Directed by the guy who brought X-Men: Days of Future Past, this was bound to be a new classic. Taron Egerton and Colin Firth had their action breakthroughs. Both of them brought the blood, the gore, and the comedy. All 3 of those things definitely filled its rated R shoes. And with that, it did not hold back, making this the Bond for the new generation. So for my number 1 easily was Mad Max Fury Road. Being my most anticipated film of the year is definitely a lot. Krampus was at number 2, but Mad Max Fury Road just topped it for me. Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, and Nicholas Hoult, they had a bondage to remember. It's honestly a 2-hour action sequence with little breaks of story, but it's just enough story to function. It had the acting, the practical effects, it had the design, it had the set, it had the cinematography, it had everything, making Mad Max Fury Road the best movie I've seen in a long time.